They are there to cover while the agents working the president either renders medical aid to him or evacuates him completely to get him out of harm's way. So all of that looks like it occurred in the way that it should.
And AT, you know, your former colleagues, the Secret Service trains for this. I mean, I've done reporting at their training facility here outside of Washington, where there is there's a site that's a replica of a city where they train in cars to see if there is an attack on the president. What do you do? Where do you go? How quickly do you respond? And what you describe shows that training kicking in. You see agents rushing the president off site. You see agents in plain clothes clearing the crowd. This is now a crime scene. We have video, cell phone video, showing someone who appears to be potentially the assailant, possibly on a roof. AT, talk to us about the security protocol when it comes to the area outside a perimeter and an open-air event like this. You know, it's one thing to usher people through metal detectors and wad them down, but you can't control the sky. You can't control, you know, parts of these areas that are outside the perimeter. How does the Secret Service account for that?
Well, and that's what the investigation probably will end up showing us. You know, how far away was this assailant? What sort of access did he have? As you said, the security in these kinds of events, whether they're indoors or outdoors, or really, if you think of it, there are three concentric circles. There's an outer perimeter, a middle perimeter, and the innermost perimeter, which is closest to the protectee, the former president. So it will be interesting to see what the distances are here, and you know whether or not something nefarious occurred that they may yet have to get to the bottom of. But to your point, the Secret Service agents train constantly for this kind of an event at the Rally Training Center in Beltsville, Maryland. There's a mock sound, there's mock motorcades, and obviously they practice these kinds of events. And from the video, you can see how they responded, and that is the essence of what their training is. And not only that, you saw how close the former president's limousine was to the stage. So part of that is the equation as well, to be able to not only secure him, render what medical aid he may need immediately, which is probably why they stayed there a little longer than you would normally think. Instead of just grabbing him and rushing off stage, they wanted to make sure that anything they might do in that regard wouldn't further injure him. So they want to make sure that
I want you to hold on the line for just 1 second, because we are getting word that President Biden has issued a statement. I want to go to Ed O'Keefe, who has that statement with him. Ed is in Milwaukee. Ed, go ahead.
Adriana, the president has issued a written statement saying, I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it. CBS News can also report that the president will be making a statement in person or on camera later tonight. It is unclear where exactly, but he is at his beach house in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. And we're seeing word that the motorcade has left that house. So he may be going to a facility there in Rehoboth Beach that can be used for unexpected, unforeseen events like this, when he might have to make some kind of a statement. It's unclear, but we'll wait and hear. We should also point out there have been statements tonight, rare ones, from George W. Bush condemning this violence and saying he too is relieved to hear that former President Trump is safe, and former President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle saying much the same. It's not often that you get former and current presidents making statements on anything, but obviously in a situation this grave, it is completely understandable. What exactly the current president might say and how he would speak to this tonight, and this attack on his bitter political rival, remains to be seen, but it's going to be arguably one of the most challenging statements any sitting president's ever had to make at a time of this apparent, just ongoing sort of cleaving of the country and the nastiness of its politics. Adriana.
A nasty time in politics and a horrific day in America moment. Our Scott McFarland, who was on the ground, reported that he saw a helicopter arriving on scene. Bob Costa is here with us.
Scott McFarland has been doing exemplary work along with our team on the ground since he can't join us just now at the moment to reiterate Scott's reporting and our reporters on the ground. Scott says he heard between 8 to 10 explosions, popping sounds. He saw the crowd duck. He hit the ground when he was sitting under the bleachers. He heard this popping sound. The press was under the risers, most of them around that area, very close to the stage. They witnessed the Secret Service swarm to the left of Trump following the incident, climbed on top of the former president. Then they saw helicopters come by a few minutes later. They did see Trump head toward a motorcade. Helicopters arrive in some way. Our reporters on the ground, Olivia Rinaldi and Jake Rosen, just to underscore what we know, this is an active crime scene. They are setting up tapes still, talking to bystanders, witnesses, blood seen on the bleachers, blood seen on the T-shirts and pants of those leaving this rally, people being escorted out. There was a lot of anger, confusion in the air. Jake Rosen spoke to an emergency room physician who was there, who says he saw a man who he believes was shot in the head.
And Bob, we have that video. Let's play it right now.
Right.
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, "He's been shot, he's been shot." So I made my way over. I said, "I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you." The guy had spun around and was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
him
there only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
I was
And there we have an eyewitness account from a man who says he is an emergency room doctor and rushed in to help a victim who had a gunshot wound to the head. We are also getting news from the Associated Press reporting that the shooter is dead. And
from our affiliate.
KDKA.
Our affiliate,
Yep.
KDKA, that the Butler County District Attorney told our political reporter, John Delano, that 2 people are dead. That's the shooter and an audience member. So the suspect we referenced as already being neutralized, add to that an audience member. One bystander at that rally
And
has lost his life.
And former President Trump injured, still trying to figure out the exact number of those who were potentially injured beyond Trump.
That's right. That's right. We have people on the ground. As you can imagine, we're all trying to get in contact with our reporters, either because there's so many phone calls being placed or because of security protocols.